Hi, everybody. All right, let's do another one. Take a look at my notes here. All right, okay. So, first of all, how is everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing great, because I am. So, anyway, a lot of people have talked about this. So, this is going to be my own take on it, my personal, you know, my personal message on it. Because I think this is very important, even though many people have talked about this, many people have talked on, you know, about this subject. Just go your own way and let them go. Let these people go. You know, I don't know what it is about people that, why does everybody have this tendency to always be, you're always downplaying yourselves. And you know that to be true for the most part because we all do that to ourselves at some point in our lives. Maybe for a long stretch of our lives, perhaps. It's like people have gotten this amnesia about their own value in this world, their own worth, all the good things that they have within them, all all that it is that makes you you. You know that in your core you are a good person. That goes for most of people on this planet. Whether they act differently or don't acknowledge that, or you know, went a certain way in their lives that doesn't reflect what the nature of what being a human is, which is being good. Because this is an irrefutable claim. And let me explain that. When we are born and we're babies, we are pure love. If our parents are good people, they're gonna treat you with all, even if they're not good people. This is the thing. If you have a child, you're gonna love that child unconditionally no matter what. It's human nature. For the most part, that's how it's going to go. There might be circumstances where people may have some heavy psychological trauma because of how they were treated when they were children, that it may go a different way. But outside of that scenario and of a circumstance like that, for the most part, most people are inherently good in nature. This is a fact, okay? When we're children, when we're babies, we are pure love. That's all we are. Even if our parents may have all kinds of heavy psychological trauma, that doesn't change who you are as a baby. As a baby, when you come to this world, you are pure love, you're pure light. That's what you are. That's just the way it is. So, with that in mind, why Why is it that when we grow up, we start doing all these things, or we have this tendency to do all these things where we forget our value, we forget our worth, we forget our greatness, we forget what we add to other people's lives, scenarios, circumstances, workplaces, relationships, friendships, you name it. Look, you know better than anybody what you carry with you and what kind of value you add to people's lives. I know in my case, right? You know, there are those of us out here that just by participating in someone's life out there, whoever they are, we're going to change their lives. Because those people are going to see something in us that they would like to cultivate within themselves, but for whatever reason, circumstance, scenario, they refuse to acknowledge that and they don't do it. Out of fear. Because fear is the big baddie here. In every scenario like that, it's always going to be because of fear that people don't act a certain way, don't do things a certain way. And you know why is it that people have this tendency to forget all of that and then they go on about their lives of just trying to prove themselves to other people. Seeking validation. Stop doing that. You don't need anything outside of yourself to validate yourself. Don't you understand that? You're perfect the way you are. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is just be yourself. Be yourself. And this is the issue here. Everybody is trying to be something that they are not. Most of their lives. And they don't even see that. And this is why you're always going to be suffering. You're always going to be having pain. You're always going to be getting hurt. But you don't understand that you're hurting yourself because you're not being yourself. Stop people pleasing. Stop seeking outside validation. Stop trying to be a version of yourself that you are not because you like somebody and you want them to like you. Because here's the thing, if they really liked you, they would like you the way you are. You don't have to change anything about you. You know that the more you get close to see, feel, and understand what real love is, the more you get to see what love is not, the things that love is not. And that's how it is. Love, like real love, we don't judge. Love doesn't judge. Love just is. Love accepts. Love understands. Love is compassionate. Love is like, you put yourself in their shoes. Let me use an example here. You're trying to change the way you are or who you are because you really like someone. Let's assume here for a minute that you love someone, but like in a romantic manner, okay? But they don't love you. But they know you love them, so they do everything to keep you around them because they like being given that energy. It makes them feel good about themselves, but they're not reciprocating that energy. Why are you still giving them that energy? Put yourself in their shoes and understand that they're just doing that to you because they like to receive, but they don't want to give. So why are you still doing that? That's my question to you. Because whatever it is that they're doing to you, that's not love. That's called being selfish. And there could be many other words for that. It doesn't really matter. But you get what I'm saying here. So, whether it is a work environment, you're like the go to person, right? Like, you do everything. They always come to you for help. But you get nothing out of it. Because they understand that you're that type of person that you're always going to try to go above and beyond and do everything right, and you get nothing. They're just using you. You're just being used, and you can't even see it because you have this goodness within you, right? That you're trying to do the right thing, be that person that, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go above and beyond. I'm gonna do it all. But you have to see from the perspective that what are you gaining from that? What are you gaining from that, really? Because you don't have to prove yourself to nobody, but yet you're subconsciously doing that because you like to feel good about yourself. So you're doing that just to like please others around you. But can't you see that you're only hurting yourself by doing that? Because you're being abused, you're being used, and you refuse to understand and acknowledge that. Don't do that to yourself. Stop. Don't do it. Because you're just creating this like negative cycle of these energies around you that are siphoning your own energy for no gain whatsoever. You're not gaining anything. They are. They are. They're gaining everything. You're gaining nothing. Understand that there will be people out there in this world all over the place that are going to do that to you. And that's how it works. So, what you have to do is stop doing that. And then understand that there will be places that you will be able to go to where people are going to treat you like you would be expected to be treated. Where people are going to like you for who you are, and you don't have to break your back all the time to try to prove something. Because you're trying to prove that to yourself. That's what you're doing. But you don't have to prove anything to yourself. You just need to understand your own value as a human being on this earth. Understand your worth. Understand your greatness. Understand what you add to others' lives. And if what you are giving is not being given back to you, you're simply being taken advantage of. And here's what happens when you walk away from situations like that. That is going to be the only time that those types of people are going to feel your worth and your value, is when you walk away from their lives. Then they're going to have that aha moment. Oh shit. You know? That's exactly how it works. Well, it's too late now. They did it to themselves. Trust yourself. Love yourself. Understand that you have value. You are great. You are fine just the way you are. Don't ever change who you are for anybody. Because that's not who you are. If everybody understood that simple concept, this world would be so much different than it is. You can't even fathom. That's how it works, my friends. That's how it works. So, just go your own way and let these people go from your life. Because you're only hurting yourself in the process. You're only diminishing your own light, your own value as a person, as a human being, by living this way. Constantly trying to seek validation from outside of you, proving yourself to others. You don't need to do any of that. You are enough as it is. Live that. Live your life that way, and everything is going to change. Your life is going to change. I can't even express that. This is something you have to live to understand. This is all I wanted to say about this. So if you're one of those people that you're living your life this way, take a stand for yourself and understand that you are valuable. And if others can't see your value, that's going to be their loss, not yours. Never forget that. Period. Live it. And you will thank yourself later. I promise you that. I know what I'm talking about. With that said, I love you all. And I will catch you on the next one. Take care, my friends.